but know that it takes us to help us. And that's another reason why I'm like, if I have to go through the mud to get to the meadow, I will, and I'll make sure I leave a path along the way.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Walter Gainer II here at Black Writers Weekend during Bookmark Live. It's a beautiful weekend full of all sorts of events, panels, talks, workshops. A really beautiful weekend here. And we're at Riverside Epicenter. Thank you for your support for making this happen. And I'm here with Angel Pean. How are you doing today?
I'm doing lovely.
Doing lovely.
Yeah.
That's your energy right now. Just yes, you just came off of your session you just did. How'd it go?
I think it went great. So it was the spoken word panel, elevating Black voices in audiobooks and podcasts. And I myself got to share my experience and just nuggets of knowledge because I'd love to see more of us in the space. And I also got to learn too. So
that's wonderful.
It's a good time.
You know, it's funny. I feel like they always say, there's a saying, I don't hear it as much anymore, but those who can't do, teach. But I feel like if you're able to teach something effectively, that really knows you know your stuff.
Absolutely.
And you share that you not only taught, but you learned as well. That's really beautiful exchange of energy.
Yeah.
Is it your first time doing a workshop event? Or?
This is my first time.
Oh.
Yeah.
You killed it on day one.
Listen, first of many. That's what I pray for. That's what I hope for. Because I like you said, the saying of those who don't do, teach. I'm a big believer in bringing people up. So I'm doing everything that I can to learn and grow and become an expert in my field. And I don't just do it for myself. I do it for my family, for my communities, for the culture.
Gotta do it
and
for the
so
culture.
I'm here to teach too. So yeah.
Lovely. Okay. In your field, being an actor, narrator, one, just congratulations on being in this field. But also that can mean so many different things. So acting, narrating, can you share some of the work that you've done thus far?
Absolutely. So as an actor, I predominantly work in film and TV performance. I studied in New York City for film and television performance, moved to Atlanta here about 4 years ago. And honestly, that was probably the best decision I could make for my career. Since then, I have a great team of agents who work really hard to get me on screen. Most recently, you can see me in a show on the CW called Gotham Knights. You can also see me on ABC for I'd say maybe a good little 10 seconds in an episode, but on Will Trent, exactly. And yeah, Will Trent.
You on season 2?
Season 1.
Season 1?
Yeah.
I gotta go back. I watched it.
Yeah, go back and look real close. Look real close, and you'll see me. You'll see my crying face, but.
Okay, that's why I didn't recognize you coming here with all the energy, glow and everything. Okay.
Completely different hair, everything.
Gotta look for someone distraught.
Yeah, and then one of my latest is actually being on a Lifetime film called Single Black Female 2. So we're hoping for a third one too. It's a great film. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to check it out for sure.
Okay.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a Black thriller.
Oh man,
we're taking up space in all the genres.
On Lifetime too. I feel like that is the place for those type of films. Okay.
Yes, with Amber Riley, K. Michelle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to you. You're doing it.
Thank you. I'm doing my best.
Well, you're doing it well. So moving to Atlanta. So all right. So you were studying in New York. You decided to move to Atlanta. I feel like usually when people are talking about I want to make it to the movies and everything, I'm off to LA, off to New York. But you came to Atlanta, and I feel like not a lot of people know just how much is happening here in this city. So what inspired the move down here?
So I'm originally from Texas. And I went to New York to go to school, lived there for 5 years. And I knew I have limited possibilities in terms of being in cities where I can, make the most out of doing what I love. And Atlanta was a no-brainer for me. I wanted to be around our people and our communities. Also, just being able to see us thrive is so inspirational for me. And knowing that there are so many productions that are coming here to shoot versus shooting in LA, that puts me at an advantage coming to be here. And I enjoy the people. I enjoy being able to work on projects that are written by us, that are written for us, where, I see the production people in terms of like directors, the writers, the hair and makeup team. They look like me. So I know that, I'm safe and I'm at home, and I just get to have a lot of blossoming experiences where I'm working with folks who really care about telling our stories and telling them well.
Man, that's cool. So, that must have been nerve-wracking, though, coming down to Atlanta, new city.
Absolutely. I'd never been here before, and I just decided to move.
It said, hey, I'm going
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
I was like, I'll find my place.
How long did it take to find your place?
Honestly, I want to say it took roughly like 7 to 9 months. I came down here, it was during COVID. So, August of 2020. Yeah. And I was coming from a city that was very much so not open. Yeah. New York was closed. So that alone, I felt like I was coming into Atlanta, of course, like post-pandemic. Or really during the pandemic. So I took a lot of time just to myself, recalibrating, being in a new space, a new city. I'm a Virgo through and through, so we like structure and we don't really like, changing our routine. Okay. So when it comes to stepping outside of my comfort zone, I just have to be really mindful and taking care of myself so that I can have, a nice transition that's full of like ease and peace. And something that helped me do that was actually getting into audiobooks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I come from the world of podcasting. So tell me about why audiobooks? I think people are now understanding what audio. Well, people always understand what audiobooks are, but it's becoming a bit more common. You kind of hear a lot more people getting into it and everything. So you getting into it right when you moved here, or were you already in audiobooks?
So I wasn't. I took a course while I was still in New York, and it was in my last few months of being in New York. But I knew after COVID hit and things shut down, my survival job or my day job as an actor was always working in restaurants. And when restaurants closed, I made a promise to myself. I said, Angel, you're going to find a job that will pay your bills, but also keep you creative, and you can have your sanity and your peace and be able to do something that you love. And audiobooks was something that kind of popped into my sphere through manifesting this is what I want for myself. And so I was like, okay, where do I start? I found a course that taught you not only about the craft, but about the technology, which helped me build a home studio here in Atlanta when I moved. Okay, nice. In my closet, a small little scrappy booth, but it worked.
Y'all would be surprised how many people record in the closet.
Yeah. And it's effective. As long as you can curate the space to the best of your ability, you can use it and you can start there. And this course also taught me about the business, because as an audiobook narrator, you don't have an agent. You have yourself. You have to do all of your admin work, your scheduling, your reach outs. And having the guidance and that course as a resource really helped me take the first steps. I recorded some demos. I was able to reach out to some publishing companies and production companies. And in, I want to say March of 2021, I narrated my very first professional audiobook. And I've been going strong since then. And now I'm at over 100 titles.
100 titles in 3 years? What?
Yeah, in about 3 years. Which, even now, I sit here and I am in actual shock, and then also awe of myself. I'm very proud of what I was able to get and how I, scaled myself to be a narrator full time, doing something that I really enjoy doing, telling stories. There's, of course, there's pros and cons with anything, but I appreciate being able to enter this space and having it be an outlet for me as a creator, so I'm not draining myself trying to spin my wheels, being desperate. I have time to just work on myself personally, and then also myself as an actor, so that I can grow that part of my business too.
Gotcha. So do we need to add overnight success to your title? Do we need to put that in there?
You
the numbers don't lie.
I guess so, yeah. And I've I have a business coach, and she tells me, like, celebrate my wins more. And I have also received some awards as well. And that's something that I'm like having to just say, okay, I can sit in the moments of success and know that, I worked hard to get here, and I can speak about it because I did put in that work. It wasn't something that, it'll look like overnight, but when you see the behind the scenes, when you see me building a booth with PVC pipe and heavy blankets and cutting it all by myself, like it was a lot.
The studio.
Oh yeah.
You didn't just put a little shelf on there. You got the PVC. Oh.
Yeah, I repurposed a lot of materials because I was also, just trying to be resourceful. I had a budget. And I was like, okay, I'll find the things that are used but still useful. And it worked out. And since then, I've been able to upgrade a bit. I can go into studios now as well to record, and that way I don't have to touch any of the engineering side, any of the technology. I'm like, okay. I get to sit down, I get to read, and I get to have fun. So, yeah. Okay.
So, we're at Black Writers Weekend. We have a lot of authors, aspiring authors, writers, a lot of different skilled and creative people. Mm-hmm. And I've heard some people kind of starting to be interested in taking their books and turning it into audiobooks. Mm-hmm. But sometimes things can be easy, but if you don't know, you just don't know. So what is one thing that someone would need to take into consideration before they kind of create an audiobook from their work?
Of course. So I would say if you're an independent author, and you have a book and you want to bring it to audio, a couple steps. Now, there are action steps within each step, of course, but I would say the first step is making sure that you have an idea of, like the type of production that you'd like, because there are tons of different types of audiobooks. There are some audiobooks with sound effects or music production. So have a good idea of what you want your story to sound like. And from there, start trying to get like a recordable script ready. You don't necessarily have to, because sometimes your recordable script looks different than the book, your physical book. So be mindful of that. You can start casting. You can audition narrators. If you have any narrators that you already enjoy listening to, it's worth kind of looking into how to contact them. I've gotten work that way directly from independent authors who've reached out to me through my website to have me audition for their projects. And once you've cast your book, you essentially just need to make sure the narrator has everything that they need, pronunciations, because those are important. We put a lot of different names in these books and we want to get them right as narrators. So being mindful and proactive even to make sure you have a pronunciation list for your narrators, and they'll record your titles. Some can return the files back to you mastered, and some will just send you raw audio files. So you might need to have an editor as well. So you need to look into, finding somebody who can edit the files and master them, getting the project up to spec. Anyone who's worked on audiobooks before as an engineer or sound editor, they'll have a good idea of the specs that they need to abide by in terms of mastering the files. And from there are certain websites that you can use and plug your files in. Make sure you're protected though. Make sure you're doing all of your due diligence so that you still own the rights and you still, you're getting the profits and everything. And from there, you can upload your book to Audible or any other platforms that you may use.
Man, a lot of takeaways from that, but one takeaway is that you definitely do, and you could definitely teach that. That was very easy to follow.
Really? I was hoping so.
Yeah. So whoever's watching, listening, they're going to be like, oh, hold on, let me rewind, write that down.
I'm glad about that. I recognize there are few resources a few straightforward resources in terms of figuring out how to bring a book to audio, even just how to become a narrator, even. It's not linear. And I recognize that, there can be multiple different paths that you can go. Some people, they can reach out to publishing companies to actually get their audiobooks produced that way. But there should be more information, and I'm working on something to maybe start putting out some information just to share with folks
working on
who are
interested.
Yeah.
Where can people go to make sure they know where to go to get that little something when it's ready?
Of course. So I do have a website. angelpean.com, ANGELPEAN, and you can contact me there. I'm not into social media, so you're not going to find me on social media. Yeah. If you want to get to know me, then you'd have to reach out. You can also keep up with the things that I'm up to on my website as well. And you know, we'll see what pops up, what's in store. You can sign up to be notified for new projects and also just new things that I'll be coming out with on my own to be able to share resources with everyone. So you guys can get out there and tell your stories, your beautiful, wonderful stories.
Man, I almost want to end it right there. That was just what? What? Yeah, you didn't need a PR person. Okay, so let me ask you this: do you think you could have gotten to where you are right now without having gone to school?
Yes. However, I'm a big proponent of like education. So I think, yes, I probably could have gotten here, but in terms of the level that I've been able to like achieve, it was my training. It's the structure, it's the guidance. Because I'll put it this way. I recently got a business coach, and it's because I realized the systems that I used back then to get me to where I am now, I've outgrown them. And I don't really have anybody in my space who I can turn to and say, hey, I need help. I don't know where to go from here. I'm kind of overwhelmed. How do I recalibrate? How do I get back to even just the joy of art? Because this is a business. So you have the stressors of running a business. And with that guidance, with seeking education, training, coaching, all of that has helped me to kind of sit in my moments and appreciate how far I've come, but know that it takes us to help us. And that's another reason why I'm like, if I have to go through the mud to get to the meadow, I will, and I'll make sure I leave a path along the way.
Yeah, so you don't got to get your shoes dirty.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's coming next. Because I already know whatever you have, if it's something educational, it's going to be dope. Just here, right there, I feel like you gave a masterclass on how to do an audiobook. And that's just the audiobook part. So excited to see what's next for you. Can you get the website one more time?
Yes, that is angelpean.com, ANGELPEAN.com. Feel free to contact me, reach out, and you'll hear more coming soon.
Lovely. Thank you all for tuning in. Want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Afros and Audio, Ike Ocean, Amazon KDP, All American Vote, Delphine Legacy Media, and of course, Riverside Epicenter. Your support makes this event possible. We're at 16th year. This is the 16th year for Black Writers Weekend.
Wow, congratulations.
Started from the bottom. Yeah.
That
is incredible. Beautiful
incredible.
festival of amazing people like Angel Pean, of course. Make sure you're following Black Writers Weekend on social, Black Writers Weekend. Check the hashtag out to see what everyone is posting. And we'll catch you next time. My name is Walt Gainer II. Peace.